Welcome everybody to United Voices, What is Going On? My name is Omolola Daudu, your host. If you've been a regular on this family conversation, I say thank you and thank you for being consistent every time, always showing up. And if this is your first time of joining us, you are in the right place. You're definitely going to enjoy this conversation. So United Voices, What is Going On is a family conversation for the UPG Champion and Members community. But now we've made it open to everyone to join in and have fun with us while we discuss global trending topics, different themes, and yes. Okay, so we'll be starting immediately. But before we start, I would like to give an agenda of today's session. Firstly, we'll be starting with the global trending topic. And yes, let me go back. If you've been on this conversation, you would realize that every month we usually have a theme of the month. So usually our conversation is centered around the theme. I'll just do a quick request. If you've been on the COVID-19 Action UPG United Voices edition, can you do a thumbs up? I want to see your face. If you've been on the COVID resilience conversation, a thumbs up. Oh, wow. If you've also been in what was the last one? The last one was COVID-19. If you've also been on that conversation, can you do a thumbs up? So, all right, thank you. So this conversation that we're having today is centered around the theme of inclusion. So on this conversation, we'll be talking about inclusion with a special highlight on children for the first session. And the second session, we'll be discussing inclusion at work. So United Voices, What is Going On is a family conversation where you can share your opinions, share your views on these various themes. So we're starting with the global trending topic, and the global trending topic, we invite a guest speaker who gives expert opinion, and then we chime in, give our contributions during the conversation. And we move on to the feature champion slot. Like I said earlier, we feature our champions and members who have something to share with us, and they would like more collaboration and involvement with other people. And from that, we move on to getting mini insights from different cities. So if you want to share what is going on in your city that you think everyone should be aware of, that is the time for you to do so. So during that segment, please feel free to say what is going on in your city, and we'll all be here to listen to you. Then we take updates from the UPG membership team and we bring it to a close. Now, for the benefit to create a flow of the segments, the global trending topic, we give a special time frame for the global trending topic because we have different speakers. We want to make it as smooth as possible. So the segment for the global trending topic takes more minutes than the other segment. So just in case you're wondering, okay, why is this person speaking more than the other speakers? And as you've always been a regular on this conversation, you know how it goes. We're starting now. So please feel free, relax, enjoy the ride. Feel free to talk when you need to talk, and we'll be here to listen to you. So thank you very much. So yeah, we're starting.
Can I say something?
Oh, sure, Yemi.
See, I always have to ask for permission. Hello, everybody. My name is Yemi, and I just love that you're here. Thank you for joining us. I want you to think of this space as a living room, So let's practice, because in any living room, you feel free to speak, right? So I'd love you to just say hello, your name, and maybe what city you're in. Of course, we don't all need to do this. We're just trying to warm up our vocal cords collectively. So maybe I can start with Omolola because we want her to warm up. So Omolola, if you just say your name and what city you're in.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's a privilege to be here. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Omolola Daudu, and I am in Abuja, Nigeria.
Beautiful, thank you. Theodore, I want to give you the mic next.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Theodore Oben. I'm in Yaoundé, Cameroon. I am an author. I just released a book and an activist, among other things.
Welcome to the family. Maybe we feature you sometime then. Jennifer, you got up nice and early. You get the mic.
It is early. Yeah, I am calling in from Rockland, Maine, in the United States, and it's a little after 6, but not horrible. This is this is totally worth it. So
wow,
thank you. Amanda,
Thank you.
please, we'd love to hear you.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda. I'm from Brazil, and here it's 7:10. It's very early, but I'm happy to join everyone. And Yemi, your energy is awesome.
Thank you. All right, who else? Of course, Anu's going to cut me off very soon. She's already given me a look. You can see that, right? So you can use the chat, okay? We can do shout outs in the chat space. And of course, if you really want to speak, put your hand up and you will see it. But welcome everybody. Love that you're here. Thank you for making the time. I told you to think of this as a living room. The other way I like to think of this is almost like a TV show as well. So if you get the mic for a minute or two, it may seem like a small amount of time, but on TV, that's actually a long time, right? So our global trending topic, we usually dedicate 10 minutes to that, 15 minutes. On TV, that's huge. Any champion we feature after that, you get maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5. That's huge on TV. So let's think living room and let's think TV and let's have fun. And then you get the mic back. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Yemi. All right, so moving on to the next segment of this conversation. We have with us a very special person. She's a guest speaker. Her name is Omolola Daudu. She's a child's rights advocate and the founder of Care Omo Nigeria. So that means care for the Nigerian child. She blogs about children, parenting, and being a safe adult. She's a social worker with a nonprofit that focuses on sexual abuse. And today she will just be sharing her views on inclusion, including the child, in the inclusion conversation. How can we include the child in what we do, how we make the world a better place, and do we really need to involve children in the family setting when making decisions and society at large? So thank you very much. The mic is over to you, Omolola.
Okay, hi Anu. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yemi. I love your hair. I'm going to say it again. And thank you to everyone joining in. It's really a privilege to be here, to share what I do. I am a child rights advocate. I'm also a blogger. I blog at careomonigeria.com.ng. I blog on children, blog on parenting, and I blog on being a safe adult. You mustn't have a child to be a safe adult. We all must be responsible for children in our environment, in our society, wherever we find ourselves. We mustn't have to bring them from our families for them to be our children. We're all responsible. So I want to say thank you for this opportunity, this privilege. I want to also say thank you to everyone joining in. And to start, let me give you a short story. I work with children who have been sexually abused, and I also try to have workshops to help other children prevent sexual abuse. And in one of those forums, we had a workshop of about 30 children. We had a girl of 11 who walked up to us and told us her friend had been abused. And in trying to understand what was happening, we asked her quite a number of questions. And one question we asked her was, why do you think your friend was abused? And she said she thinks her friend was abused because she was always wearing mini skirts and tight clothing. Mind you, this girl is 11 and her friend probably was also 11 or maybe a year older or maybe 10. And we were surprised that a child would have this notion that her friend was sexually abused by a neighbor because of what she was wearing. And so we corrected her and told her, children don't have consents to give. A child can't give consents. And whosoever abuses a child does so because he or she is a bad adult. It has nothing to do with your friend. So it's not your friend's fault. It's not her clothes' fault. It's not her fault. She's not at fault at all. And I discovered that it's really funny that if we hadn't engaged this child, we wouldn't have known what she was thinking. We wouldn't have known how to correct this notion she had. And that itself sparked a conversation on inclusion with my team. We discovered that most times when people go for this kind of workshops, when NGOs and well-meaning individuals go for workshops to talk about child sexual abuse, they go with their microphones and they just talk at the children. Hello, children, how are you doing? Body boundaries, your mouth, your breast, your pennies, no one should touch it. And they just talk at the children and they leave. But we decided that we have to allow these children participate in these discussions. It's not nice to just go out there and speak at the children. We have to speak with them. Just like what Yemi is doing, we had to create a living room kind of feeling where the children can be comfortable enough to let themselves go, to let down their guard and just speak with us. And we discovered that we had more results when we opened up the conversation and allowed the children to speak with us, and we spoke with them. So it was an interaction. It was not an adult advising a child. It was an adult advising a child and a child also advising an adult. Because children know a lot. Children know a lot. So through those forums, you see that we are able to understand a child's thought pattern as regards abuse, as regards bullying, as regards trauma, and so many other things that children go through. And that is inclusion. That is inclusion. And I was speaking to my team and I said, it's when we hear inclusion, we think it's women in politics sending, here in Nigeria, we think it's women in politics sending a letter to a party chairman to say, why are women not included in the political sphere? And that's fine, that's actually inclusion. But as regards children, it's an everyday thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, it's an everyday thing. Every single day you have to include children. If you're a parent at home, you have to include them to have opinions. You have to tell them that this is a safe space. This is a place without judgment. You can talk to me about anything. That itself too is inclusion. When the kids go to school and the school is trying to start new policies, when they sit the children down or the students down and ask them, what do you think about these policies we're about to start in the school, we're about to implement in the school? That is also inclusion. When the church says, or the mosque or any place of worship says, we want to start a children's Sunday school or children's Friday mosque session or children's yoga class or any religious activity for children, and they call the children and say, what do you guys think about this implementation? That is also inclusion. So inclusion is not a fancy word. It's not a fancy word at all. It's a simple word that can be laced into our everyday life. And one thing I would like to say is children actually want to be involved. They want to be involved in issues that concerns them both directly and indirectly. They want you to listen to their opinions. They want to give advice. They want to be problem solvers in collaboration with adults. I understand that we are adults and we often think, oh, I know better than this child. I just want the best for this child. But your mind will be blown when you give the child an opportunity to also tell you what he or she is thinking. I was telling Anu yesterday that due to the COVID-19 situation and everything, you as an adult, if you're asked what has the COVID-19 impact been like for you, you have a lot to say. But if I ask you, what's the impact of COVID-19 on children in your society? You might give me some points here and there, and you might be right. But to get that answer, you have to speak with a child. You can't sit in your living room and just think up and say, I'm sure children hate the school is not in session. You don't know that. You don't know that because you haven't spoken with a child. So you have to rub minds with a child. You have to listen to a child speak before you're able to know how that child is feeling. Most times as adults, we just assume that this is how a child is feeling without sitting with the child to understand really if this is how the child is feeling. So inclusion has helped my work as a child rights advocate. It has helped me see the power of allowing children to participate. And even as a researcher, though not with any academic institution yet, I've been able to understand that there's a research method called the child-centered research method. And this is when researchers, they go with an open mind. They know that, okay, I want to research child sexual abuse in the Maitama area of Abuja, for example. I know that's what I want to do, but I don't write down a lot down yet. I first go and sit with the children first. So the children help me come up with my topic, my research topics. They help me come up with a lot of other information I'll need for the research. So basically, I am the kids are also my co-researchers. We're all in a team researching together. And it's always so mind-blowing. It's always so beautiful to see that as an adult, I really don't know much as a child advocate. I really don't know much. The people who help me to have more understanding and more knowledge and more information on these issues are the children. So they are my research people, more than Google, more than textbooks by mighty child psychologists. The children are my informants. They give me all the information and knowledge I need. So yeah, it's really, really mind-blowing. So I really hope like we all are going to see that inclusion helps children to be less vulnerable. I want to end my short talk by saying inclusion helps children to be less vulnerable, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's bullying, whether it's a child living with disability. When you include children, you make them less vulnerable to some evil vices that might be going on in that society or environment they are living in. So thank you. Back to you, Anu.
Thank you. Thank you. You got everyone clapping. Thank you so much, Omolola. Thank you for highlighting the fact that in whatever we do as a society, as adults, we need to include children, because literally they are the future of tomorrow. They are the ones that will, take the baton when adults, go. So yeah. Thank you so much. And also stating that we need to involve them in decision making, starting from the family and all of that. So now is the time for questions, contributions to what Omolola said. Does anybody want to say anything? This is the time.
Sorry, I'm really trying to control myself, but I know you didn't really include me when you said, does anyone want to speak?
But you can speak, Yemi.
Thank you. I loved it, Omolola. Thank you so much. I love your closing on inclusion helps children be less vulnerable. I think it's so powerful. Yeah, so thank you. I'm really happy that we're doing this focus. Some of the things you said sound obvious to people, but I'm so happy you said it because it's not obvious. The idea of consulting children. When I started doing some work in my career with schools, it blew me away the number of schools who made policies without consulting the young people in those schools. It blew me away. You would think it's obvious because it sounds so normal. But it even went up to university level, right? There are some universities who make the policy for the students. These are young adults in the university and they didn't even consult them because they know better. And that kind of arrogance gets even worse when you go down to primary schools. They just make the rule. So I love that you repeated it, even though I'm sure it's obvious to you and obvious to a few others, but people, let's take that close and hold that close because I think it's really powerful. And again, what you said about making children less vulnerable by including them is so practical. And if people are looking for, it makes it clear that inclusion is just not a nice thing to do or nice to have. If you really care about these children, inclusion actually protects them from so many things. I hadn't heard that before. So for me, that's a big takeaway. And maybe one last thing, I love kids, and people often ask me, why does my son listen to you or my daughter listen to you? I often get that question. And I always start off by saying, all right, if you want children to listen to you, the reaction is always the same. When I say that first part, they always lean forward. Always. They get all excited. And then I say, listen to them. And they go, oh. They go like, oh. I'm like, yeah, you want the child to listen to you, but you're not ready to listen to them? Come on. It's the first step. If you want the child to listen to you, listen to them. There's something they're trying to say. Even if it's, you know what, I don't want to eat now. I don't want to go to bed. I want to play outside. They have a valid point. Listen to it. And then you can say whatever you wanted to say after. But anyway, so I love that we're doing this feature on children. Thank you for what you shared. And I'm also learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Yemi. Is anybody else? Feel free.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm super happy to be here. This is my first meeting. And Omolola, I loved all your speech. I'm from Brazil, but now I live in the Netherlands. I'm studying here. And back in Brazil, I have a project that is with shelter homes. We work with children to improve their experience. And we are doing some kind of what you said. We are working with some teenagers to find out what are their needs. And this is like something that we thought, okay, everyone is doing, but actually it's not. Like we are working with like this is the first experiment in our state. So it feels really obvious, but it is not. And also the thing that when we talk about this work back in Brazil, we don't use the word inclusion. Because for me, inclusion was for other topics, not for that. So thank you for that, because now we can incorporate, because inclusion of children and teenagers is also part of that. So yeah, I'm blown away now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simone. There's a question in the chat. AZBD asked, how do we encourage the inclusion of children in policy making?
Okay, I want to say thank you to AZBD. She is a doctor here that I work with. I work with her team for the workshops that we go on. So thank you, Ma, for being here. Basically, I think Nigeria started something when I was a child. They called it the Children's Parliament. I don't know what's happening as regards the Children's Parliament right now. But it was a forum that I really loved. As a child, I was like, oh, if I lived in Lagos, I would have kind of like loved to be on that platform. Because basically what they do is when there are all the political topics, children kind of like also discuss about them on that forum. So platforms like that help children to be able to speak out on issues, on policies that might be implemented by the government or by schools or by whatever. It was kind of like a Senate house, a house of, like a Senate house for children. So when we have groups like that in schools or in places of worship or even at home, while you're speaking with your child about how their day went, the school might have sent an email to you telling you that, oh, we want to clear out the gutters, or we want to take the playground from one place from the front of the school to the back of the school. If you discuss that with your child on the dining table and ask your child, what do you think? Even if the school didn't ask for your child's opinion, they're asking you as a parent what you thought. You could champion the change and call the headmaster or the principal and say, have you asked the children? So I think it's not just for child advocates like me to go to schools and always just be saying, oh, principals or government, you have to involve the children. It's also every one of us responsibility here to ask those people, have you asked the children? You want to do something for the children, have you asked them? So I know of some schools here in Abuja that are really doing well. They have like a children parliament thing in schools, and it's open for every child, every student. In fact, some of them even hold meetings, of course, with adult supervision, and they tell the children, we want to change lunch. Lunch is probably egg and chips, but we want to change it. What do you guys think? And they make it so interactive and fun. So, children love fun activities. Like they can't sit down and go through, maybe listen to Richard Quest. They can't maybe do that for a long period of time. They don't want something so formal. They want something fun and engaging. So once you're able to make that happen, you discover that even the most introverted child will be able to speak. One thing I've noticed is introversion does not always mean a child can't stand up for themselves and speak. I've met introverted children who are also quite confident. And so you discover that when you as an adult, you also ask those leaders or those policy makers, have you involved the children? You're doing your work. It's as simple as that, because it's not everybody that can have the opportunity to create those platforms just by thinking like that. They need you, they need me to like support them to do that. So that's one way we could involve children in policy making, is that you and I, we tell policymakers that if you're having any policy, create platforms, create forums where children can come on and tell you what they think about those policies. And really going to go a long way.
Thank you, Omolola. Theodore, I apologize. You've been raising your hand, so feel free to please talk now.
No, thank you, Omolola, for the very, very inspiring presentation. Takes me back a couple of years ago when I was the chief of outreach of the UN Environment Program. We had a number of initiatives. When I came in, I changed quite a number of things. And if we can go back, whenever you have big discussions, even at the international level, and you get inputs from young people, from children, it actually takes the show of those discussions. If we go back to 1992, then I was still a student, and we're all in Brazil for the UN Conference on Environment and Development. One of the most moving presentation of that conference was from a young lady who was 12 years at that point, Sevan Suzuki. We're all students, were there. And she actually got all the heads of states and all the participants to stand up for her, because she moved them. She gave them a perspective that they never thought they would hear from someone. While they were discussing and disagreeing on many things, they got a perspective from a child. In the year 2000, we organized a conference for children, and the environment minister of the UK came and was talking, and children booed him, and they told him, "You're talking like an adult. We don't need you to address us in this conference." So you see, when you take it to an extent where you actually ask children, because the policies that we make today, even if you are getting a house, you're getting a house for the family, but you have to think about the fact that there are people who would inherit that house and live in that house longer than you. How do you get their input? How do you make sure that whatever you do, even if you're doing for them, even for yourself, there might be another angle of it that children might actually get you to see a different perspective of it. I can tell you for sure, my mobile phones, my cars, my children know a lot more about the cars better than me, and I never ask them. But when I'm in the car, I'm driving, they actually are able to touch things that I would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I would see that they're teaching me how to use a car that I bought for myself, and I thought I knew too much about the car. So I think we have to start thinking that, children are not just there. We can encourage them, but we have to make sure that we always include them. I remember this publication that was written by Hillary, and it's very true that it takes a village to bring up a child. Not just looking at your own children in your house. How do you engage children who visit, who come with your children? How do you make sure that they're comfortable? How do you make sure that things that are around them, maybe in the house, you go buy things for children to play, like Omolola said. How many times do you actually involve them to tell you what they would like? Sometimes they tell you, but many of the things that we do, we take for granted. We need to change constructively the status quo that we have at the moment, that children are there to be catered for, sent to school, given food and clothing, and that's all. We have to change that and make sure that we start including them. I tried doing that in the United Nations Environment Program for a couple of years, but as soon as I left, as soon as I resigned, all those things were pushed out. So I'm glad we're having this discussion. I'm glad that we're taking it a step forward, and hopefully we'll continue the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Theodore. Daniel Daudu, I see your hands up, so you can briefly give your contribution. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. This is Daniel.
That's my husband, by the way. That's my husband.
Yeah, break into the meeting.
Hi.
Love it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Had long, lengthy discussions. It's always insightful hearing her speak at home. It's her passion. She breathes it. She talks about it. She thinks about it. And really so excited to see her on this platform share with it. And then, although I do have a question, I don't think it's a question I've got it asked of personally. So I'd like if you could also share your thoughts here on your ideas for how to expand the reach of this idea. Now, it's a very brilliant idea to include children, which is what we talk about, which is what we want to do for our family. And we have no number of families who want to do that for themselves. But living in the country where we are, we know there's not so much infrastructure to protect children. So what are your thoughts and ideas on how to, if you permit the reference, increase market penetration? That's just a word I had to use because of occupational hazard, but if you permit the reference, increase the reach for people to know, knowing fully well there's not so much infrastructural support, but then for families to get on board on the campaign.
Thanks for your question. Basically, what Yemi is doing here, I was going to say that at the beginning of when I was introducing myself, that this platform itself is inclusion. It's inclusion because I'm from Nigeria. There are people here from Brazil. There are people here from different walks of life, from different financial background, from different religious background. It's all inclusion, and we all can sit here and rub minds. So just this platform alone answers your question that with more platforms like this, with more people listening and rubbing minds about issues like this, it's going to like kind of spark changes, I beg your pardon. You're going to see the situation whereby in Yemi's house, there's going to be a change. In Chioda's house, there's going to be a change. In Anu's house, there's going to be a change. In Ekeneme's house, there's going to be a change. In Gwen's house, because it starts with forums like this. That's the truth. We can all go to the UN. We can all raise placards and walk the streets. We can all do big things. And I'm always telling people, sometimes we all are waiting for big platforms, big opportunities before we speak out on things that are dear to us. From social media activism, which is also part of e-advocacy, to speaking with your own friends. I'm always trying to make my answers simple. I don't want to tell you, oh, write an article, oh, get in touch with UN ambassadors, or oh, make friends with policymakers. Those things are important, but I've discovered that the little things are even more effective. So forums like this, you talking about it the way you talk about it, you bringing up the conversation, you including your child and letting your child know that there's such a thing as inclusion, and encouraging your child to also spark those conversations with their friends and in their schools and in their wherever they find themselves is part of how we can widen our reach. So yes, I also have a blog. I know there are other people who also have blogs and have TV shows and have content, just a lot of content to help see how we can spread the word about inclusion and listening to children and child rights advocacy. But the little things matter. Let's not forget the little things. Let's not joke with them at all, because they have the fire to also reach a very wide audience. So
thank you.
Your marks, just
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
if
you.
I can also return the compliment, I think these platforms are powerful when people come with messages that are practical. Yeah. And so Omolola has shared lots of practical, simple things we can all do. I love your message earlier on, Omolola, about the fact that you don't have to be the parent to a child to be the adult to the child. So anywhere you are as a responsible adult, you can put on your parenting hat. Doesn't have to be your child. If you see something wrong, say it. If you see a child being excluded, include the child. So much we can do just by being present as adults. That was your idea. So just returning the compliment there. Really practical things that we can all take away. Thank you.
Thank you. I see that we are all enjoying the conversation. I can say the chat is on fire. We have about 3-4 questions, but we're kind of running out on time. So can I indulge you that when you ask your question, just ask very briefly. And if Omolola is going to answer, Omolola, please try to answer very, very concisely as well, so that we can keep to time. There are other segments.
Why don't you take a last round? So maybe take 3 or 4 questions at once. Then Omolola can answer them at once.
All right. So there's a question in the chat from Armando. I'll just read it now. How do we change mindsets of leaders who have policy control of vulnerable people, such as children, to include and take into account the affected parties when they have traditionally been excluded? So that's the first question. Let me go through the chat again. Okay, so
you might want to take notes, Omolola.
All right, and I see Roland raising up his hand as well. So Roland, the mic is, you can take over the mic now.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Omolola, for a wonderful presentation. I just wanted to throw in one observation. What you're doing is great work, but you can extend it to parenting. How do we as parents engage with our children? Some of it is cultural. So this is deep rooted. I mean, I grew up with a spank whenever I do something that is that's not good, without a voice at all. So some of it is generational. That's number one. How are you tackling that to change those minds? Number two, it's also institutional in terms of the school system. When I was growing up, our school system is just to come there, sit and listen and go and regurgitate. This needs to change. How do you address teachers to change their methodology to actually encourage the students to participate and be included? Thank you.
Great questions. Will you take
and
one last
I don't
question?
think we should just leave it to Omolola. If anybody wants to answer, I think we can all answer. Yeah. What were you saying?
Take one last question.
Okay. Is there a question in the chat? I
then
don't see any other questions.
Topic.
All right. So Omolola,
hopefully my can I say something?
Oh yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope my connection is decent. To answer, I wanted to speak on Roland's input. I think one of the ways that we can kind of address what you brought up is, instead of looking at it as parenting or teaching, maybe take more of a coaching mindset. Because typically, I mean, if you've played sports, typically you have to take into account both sides, how one, the athlete is feeling, and one, how the coach is. I mean, it's very much a what's the word, a coexistive type of relationship. So I think maybe if the mindset went more towards coaching, we could kind of change the institution and how it's traditionally been.
Yeah.
Hopefully that made some kind of sense.
You got lots of thumbs up.
It did make sense, because everything you said can be tied to the quote that Theodore gave. It's actually an African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. So it's a collective, as you said, it's a collective responsibility. It's not just the teachers and the parents. And Roland was talking about parenting, and everyone knows I'm a great advocate for good parenting, because the family is the smallest unit of the society. And so more than the government alone, the great individuals with great intentions and great policies that they implement and blah, the family is very, very strong, very, very strong. If you check countries that have a low crime rate and have, like in my work, a low rate of child sexual abuse, you would see that their research on their family systems. And it's been discovered that they have strong family values, like Switzerland, for example. You see that they have a low crime rate. And in speaking with someone who had stayed there for a while, it was like he really admires the way families kind of nurture their children. So speaking about that, recently I attended a webinar like this that the UNICEF in conjunction with the Kaduna state government here in Nigeria had. They were talking about what we call the Almajiri children here in northern Nigeria especially. And the Almajiri children are just mostly young boys, but they have few girls who are not living with their parents. They are living in a sort of a boarding house, but when it's morning, they're pushed out to go and hawk and beg on the streets. Most of them, there are lots of risk factors involved. Most of them are vulnerable to sexual abuse, to kidnapping, and physical violence, bullying, so many things. And someone asked a question similar to what Roland was asking and the contribution he gave. And the person said, where are these children's parents? Why did the parents allow their children to go into such facility? And my opinion, backed with research, is family. That's the answer. That parents get the knowledge. It's not enough to say, oh, I love him, he loves me, and we got married and we're going to have kids. We all went to universities and we studied for 4 years, 5 years for our degrees. Some of us here have masters, some of us are looking forward to PhD. We sit down and we study so much for these things we are interested in, and we want to make a livelihood out of, or we want to make financial gain and impact society out of. But we don't study how to cater for children. We don't study how to cater for children. You see people reading books on how to be more financially stable, on how to be more effective as a human being to other people, how to win friends. Those are good things. Those are good things. But how many of us take out time to study about children? How many of us do that? And people say, oh, I don't have a child yet. I've had a lot of adults tell me, oh, I don't have a child yet. I don't have a child yet. And I'm like, that's not a reason. That's not a reason not to to put yourself at the forefront of child advocacy, or speaking about the rights of children and including them in our conversations, and including them in bringing up, identifying problems, and also preferring solutions to those problems. How many of us kind of like sit down and actually study these things and everything like that? So I have, my blog centers on parenting heavily. I talk about parenting heavily because, as I said, you can't just push a child to school and allow the teachers do everything. No, you as a parent, you also have to do your part. Sometimes when you even engage children, it's not because you want to also just advise them. You also want to, get their level of understanding about a particular topic. You want to know what they've taught them in school and either correct it or build on it. So quickly, I know, I'm sorry, in my work with sexual abuse, for example, we encourage children, parents, to tell them, you don't leave this work to NGOs and teachers to do. You also have to sit down with your children and speak with them about sex education, body boundaries, and everything. No matter how uncomfortable it is, you have to do that first before we will also take it from there. And when the child comes home, you also take it from there, because you don't know what we're teaching your child. You understand? So I agree with Roland. And I also agree with what the last speaker said. I can't remember her name. I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry. But I agree with what the both of them have said about collaboration and about how parenting is quite.
Thank you so much. We have to move on to the next segment. We're running out of time. So thank you very much. I'm sorry if I've not been able to take your questions. I see hands raised, I see the comments. This is such a very vital topic that we're having, but we need to move on to the next segment. So I posted links to the forum where we can continue the conversation. please feel free to check out the link to the forum and let's continue the conversation there. We cannot exhaust the topic when it comes to children. So we need to move on now.
And just a shout out. Grazie.
Okay.
Sorry we didn't get to you, but I love that you put your hand up. Welcome. It's great to see new faces and great energy.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate
All right, but please
that.
follow the links and you can come inside and be on the forum, or you can exchange with us on social media, whichever platform you're on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Omolola.
Thank you, Omolola. Thank you.
This month we're focused on inclusion, and I didn't really know that the focus on children would be so hot. I have to say, the energy here.
Me too. Yeah.
Time is never enough. Even with the children, it's never enough.
Never enough.
More time.
All right, thank you. Annie?
Yes, all right. So we're moving on to the featured champion. We have a very special champion in our midst. She's from Cameroon. Her name is Welisane. Welisane, the mic is over to you. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Okay, but just as a caution, the first topic always gets the most time. Okay, so all the other topics are more like TV shows, bite size. Welisane can also come back and lead the first topic another time, maybe. Welcome, Welisane. Oh, you're mute.
Myself.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Yemi. I would love to take the first segment, of course. Thank you. Thank you, UPG. Thanks to all the previous speakers, and also straight to my classmates who are joining us on this platform. Eric, Frank, Martin, thanks for joining us. And this is a very important topic when we're talking about inclusion. We need everyone on board because everyone matters and no one should be excluded. And of course, we need to discuss every topic. So I'm a champion for UPG since 2019, and I've been very privileged to be one of them. And I work on menstrual hygiene and amongst many other things that concerns girls and women. I'm very passionate about this particular project because it's something that I have lived it. I was not fortunate enough to know about menstruation before I menstruated. So I've taken it upon myself to teach younger girls about menstruation and also to give them access, especially to underprivileged and displaced girls in my country, access to reusable pads. Hitherto, we were using disposable pads, but this was not a sustainable project. And as UPG stands for sustainability, that's why we decided to switch to reusable pads. So we manufacture these pads ourselves. We give it to girls who have been displaced. You know, in my country right now, we have girls who have been displaced because of the ongoing Anglophone crisis, and also because of those in the northern part of the country affected by Boko Haram. So we give this pad to girls, and they, it enhances their menstrual hygiene management. And we also go to schools and give education on girls. Also, with the advent of social media, we try to maximize the use of these platforms because we realize that many people are on social media doing all sorts of things, but not talking about the things that are really basic to them, menstrual hygiene being one of them. That is why we have our campaigns on the 28th of May, which is the World Menstrual Hygiene Day. We take it upon ourselves to make campaigns on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, LinkedIn, and what have you. And also, of course, our page on UPG. And then we also go to the mass media, radio, TV, so we can reach those in the rural communities where they cannot have access to social media or they cannot have access to TV, especially radio. So we have campaigns. Young people themselves, if that to Omolola was talking about the inclusion of young people. So the young people speak to their peers. We have peer leaders who speak to their peers about the importance of menstrual hygiene management, teach their peers about sex education. Omolola mentioned that as well. Sex education is very important for girls. If you're listening to me right now, you have a younger person in the house who has not yet reached the menstruation age, please take this time to talk about it to them because it is very embarrassing for a young girl to fall into a menstruation or start menstruating without any education. It kills your self-esteem. It can lead to many embarrassment and many uninformed decisions about their bodies because, like you said, an informed girl is an empowered girl. So that is basically what we do. We also work in education. We work in other aspects like networking, and of course we give socioeconomic empowerment to young girls and women. But basically, menstrual hygiene management is an area that I'm really, really passionate about, and I'm calling everyone on board to support girls in their communities to manage their menstruation or their menses in safety, in privacy, and in dignity, because that is the essence of life, having access to the basic things. And also, please, you can follow us to support our work, or mentor girls or organize programs with us. We are on Facebook, Welisane Foundation. Welisane Foundation. I'll drop it at the chat thereafter after this, so that you can follow the link and be part of us. We are everywhere. If you cannot reach us on our social media pages, we are on UPG page as a champion leader. So you can meet us there. Thank you very much, EME. Thank you for UPG for giving us a platform to reach out. I'm so happy to see everyone, and I would like us to all work together. And thanks to some of the UPG members that we have, they have helped me to connect to people in Brazil, connect to other people in Nigeria. So we are actually working together now to move from the basic disposable parts to something that is biodegradable and more sustainable. So that's thanks to my colleague, Otto Mallet. He's the one who hooked me up with a young lady from Brazil doing the same thing. So let's just network, let's be inclusive, and let's all push together for better menstrual hygiene management. Thank you.
Thank you, Welisane. Welisane is a force of nature. God made some of these beings who, even if the land is deserted, they will make something happen there. I'm not exaggerating. She's one of those, right? So even if nothing is happening and you just drop Welisane, something is going to happen. So thank you so much, Welisane, for your work. She's also a UPG sustainability leader. Part of the first year of people who went to Hurricane Island Center for Science and Leadership. Very proud of you. I think we're very tight on time. Do we have time for at least one question for Welisane, Anu?
All right.
All right, look at she conceded. See, I'm fighting for you guys, right? So please ask a question. We can get 1 or 2 questions for Welisane. Please, anybody, 1 or 2 questions. I think the work is so important. Anybody in the chat, or you can speak up.
Can you share the link for your project so people can follow up?
All right, I'm doing so right now.
Okay, it looks like Roland has a question. Roland, you can go. Oh, you're mute, Roland.
Disclaimer, Welisane is my niece. So before I ask the question.
Oh, wow.
Are you about to declare love?
No. Quick one, Welisane. How much do these pads cost? How much money do you need? Do you need funds, donations? Can you appeal to the network? What is your ask for people here in terms of supporting you financially? And how can we use goodwill vows to do that?
Roland always has an agenda. Isn't he amazing? Go, Welisane. I think you're frozen a little bit. Oh,
Thank
maybe.
you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much, Uncle Roland. Thank you very much. So a packet of pads that contains 6 pads and pants inside and panty liners. We give them for 5,000 francs CFA. That's about $10. And you can support us by going to our website www.welisanefoundation.com. We have a link there that you can connect with us. You can donate. And also, if you can just send the parts yourself. Some communities, some people have parts that in their community that they don't have use for, or that they find it cheaper. So what they do is they ship the parts to me, or they send it to my foundation members, and then they send it to me in Cameroon. So if you want to reach us, you can reach us on Facebook, on my website, welisanefoundation.org, or you can support us with parts themselves if you cannot give financially. A pack is $10, that's 5,000 francs CFA. So that's basically it. I'm hoping that I'm going to discuss further with Yemi and the team how to use UPG vows to valorize this and make it reach many more girls in our communities. Thank you.
Consider it done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we are almost at the top of the hour. I see another question. I'm kind of tempted to take it from Armando. So Welisane, can you answer, how have you convinced the men that this is good considering they have been much of the obstacles in the past?
Yeah, we have succeeded to convince the men by starting with the boys themselves. So during our educative talks, we make it inclusive. We talk to boys and we talk to girls, because you know that when you want to start a movement or you want to start an empowerment, it's better to start at the grassroots. So we talk to boys and girls in schools, We include them in our programs that we carry out our recreational activities during the holidays to talk about pads and talk about menstrual hygiene management. Because now it is the boys who are booing at the girls in school. That is the main problem. You know, when you're already an elderly person, you can deal with it. But at that younger age, it's very, very difficult for girls when they are booed in class or in school by their classmates. So we start at the grassroots. Now, for men themselves who don't even talk about this with their own daughters and their own nieces per se, we, give them education. Education is a key. We tell them the importance that if you don't tell these girls about this, they're going to make uninformed decisions, they're going to get pregnant. There's so much myth around menstruation. And if you don't give them informed, good education, they're not going to make informed decisions. So we try to have this inclusive conversation with men and boys wherever we have the opportunity, like we are doing right now, so that the more we do this, the more we can have more people who are enlightened about menstruation and understand that menstruation is not a taboo subject. Let's talk about it, let's make noise about it, and let's break the stigma and the silence around menstruation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Amando, she went all the way. She answered your question. All right. So now we're moving on to the next segment.
Sorry. I can't really control myself.
Yeah,
sorry.
me?
Oh, sorry. On the menstruation point, since you brought up the man issue, I just want to give my mom a shout out, because when I was growing up, when my mom was giving the education to my sisters, I got it at the same time. I guarantee you it was very uneasy for me and for my sisters. I was like, why do I need to listen to this? And my sisters too, because, my mom would talk about it before it happened. And then when it happened, my mom would summon everybody and give a demo. This is what the pad looks like, all soiled. And I'm there cringing. But I have to say, it was amazing because it helped me work with women. Right? It helped me be at ease. It helped me speak about it with colleagues or siblings. Also, my sisters, when stuff happened later, they could talk to me, right? If mom wasn't there. So I have to say, that thing that my mom did that really made me cringe really made my life better. So thank you, mom. And that echoes what Welisane was also saying about the education. So when you educate these girls before it happens, if you have the courage, educate the boys too.
Boys too.
Thank you, Yemi. Thank you. All right. So now we'll be taking updates from the UPG membership team.
You don't want to do what's going on in communities? Are we out of time?
Okay,
sorry.
I think we're really, really enjoying this conversation, and I don't want to kill the flow.
There's so many good people. So we have a segment where we just do a snippet of what's going on in your community or city. Usually you get like 2 or 3 minutes to share a story. But even if we do 60 seconds each, I think it's part of the value here is just to hear from people from around the world. So if somebody wants to share, based on what city you're in, just give us a snippet of what's going on. Is there an election? Is there a lockdown? Is there, I don't know, anything? Is there a party going on? Just anything at all that's going on in your city. Grazie, is that you? Are you trying to share? If you want to share, oh no, you're shaking your head. Okay. Come on, anybody. I see I'm fighting to make sure you get the chance to talk.
Let me just say something.
What city are you in?
I'm in the city of Jos, Nigeria. Yes.
Awesome.
There isn't much happening. It's just the lockdown has been relaxed and people are just trying to get by, meet and stuff like that. And then our society is really turning into something else. So this topic, this platform, is really amazing. It's an interesting one, and I enjoyed every bit of it. We really need to have our kids really have a good upbringing. It's not parents' job anymore because it's really crazy around here sometimes. You hear of killings, and they ain't even big. They just killed and playing some bad stuff with guns and killing one another and stealing here and there. Kids are out of school. It's really not easy sometimes around here, but it's all good. We're just trying to get by and hoping for the best. That is it. So thank you so much. It's really not, easy around here, but thanks for the platform.
Thank you for sharing, Grazie, and thank you for making the time, even though it's not easy. Thank you for making the time to join us. Wonderful. And she's in Jos, all right? Jos is a beautiful city with a unique climate, I guess in the middle of Nigeria or the north of Nigeria. When I was growing up, they said the most beautiful girls in the country were in Jos. I don't know if people heard that saying. So you're always planning to escape, run away from home and go to Jos. All right, anybody else want to share, please, from any city in the world? Anybody? Just give us a snippet. What's going on where you are? Anything. It might seem normal and bland to you. It's going to be news to the rest of us.
Okay, some good news from Valencia, Spain. After one of the hardest lockdown in the world, a 55 days lockdown, we are able to go to the beach again. Thank God. So take care of yourselves. Enjoy the lockdown because good things are coming.
Wow.
Now that's good news, man. All right, anybody else? Or we give the mic back to Anu? Anybody else? Anything you want to share? It doesn't matter how small.
Really quickly from São Paulo, Brazil, things are getting back to normal, but the numbers about COVID are getting worse. So it's not as good as Rodrigo said, but we are trying to surpass the situation.
Thank you very much, Amanda. Thank you. Yeah, I think Brazil just hit 1 million in the number of infections. Really scary.
Yeah.
Really scary. Is it higher than that, Juliana? Oh my gosh.
Just hit
how much?
2 million.
Almost 2 million.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. The numbers in Brazil, and it's underestimation of the numbers. So the real numbers are higher than that. These are the official numbers. So.
But why though? Why?
Are you really asking that?
Yeah.
But
all the Brazilians are like,
we have one more hour.
Let's not enter in this matter right now because we don't have time.
Maybe we should do one that focuses on Brazil. There's just so much happening there.
I would be very glad to talk.
Okay, but thank you for sharing. Really sad news out of Brazil about the climbing cases. But we keep hoping for the best and the return to the beaches. Okay, Anu, thank you for indulging me. Did you want to move on?
Yes, I want to. All right, thank you, everyone. So now we are bringing this conversation to a close. We'll be taking the updates from the UPG membership team first, then over to you.
Okay, and just in case people have to leave during these updates, because I know we asked for an hour of your time, there is another conversation this afternoon. You know, we have 2 conversations every, once a month, one at 12, the other at 5. And the one in the afternoon is really going to focus on inclusion at work, right? So this one, we've allowed it to follow the usual templates where we get different speakers, different topics. But the one in the afternoon is really inclusion at work. Bring your stories, your wisdom. It's shaping up to be really powerful. We're going to use breakout groups for the first time. People will have more time to talk because there's breakout groups. And by popular demand, the music is back. Okay. So DJ Kwame was such a hit last month. I got personal requests. Can we always have him? So he's going to be back at 5 p.m. So it should be good. Please join us later. All right. So for the UPG Community Updates, I knew you said membership team was going first.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Gitaga. I'm part of the community team, so welcome. It's really great to see all you new faces and old faces, and this has been a really moving talk. So thank you all for showing up today. So my next couple of updates goes out to the champions who've joined us today. Then this month's community call is coming up next Tuesday, the 21st of July. So please, if you haven't signed up for that, please sign up for that. If you want to get a more in-depth look about all the work that we do, and you want to be involved in what we do, and like Kemi says, if you want to be, part of the kitchen, so please make sure to join us. And also keep in mind the private brainstorming session slots are still available for this month. So if you have any ideas that you might need any help, please go on and sign up. I'll post the link.
Yeah, Welisane, maybe you can use that. So just for those who don't know, we have, we share the love. So for our champions, we have slots where you can bring any problem and we will listen to you. It can be professional, it can be personal, it doesn't really matter. Of course, it's done in confidence. And depending on the problem you put on the table, we'll bring the right people around to just listen to you and brainstorm. So anything from, how can I leverage UPG to support my NGO or for my work? Or how do I speak to my boss about a promotion, right? Or anything you want to share. You shouldn't be alone. UPG is a community, it's a family. Whatever you're going through, if it's something confidential, we'll treat it that way. All right. Obviously, we can't do this for everyone on the planet, but we can do it for UPG champions. So you get the link, and please, sign up, and we have some spots.
Thank you, me.
I posted the links up in the chat. And so, yeah, and for everyone else, for the champions and members, if you want to continue this conversation, since it's been such a great conversation, please feel free to head over to the forum, to topic number 1, and just let's continue the topic. And lastly, if you're not part of the UPG family and you're thinking about it, please, I posted the link to join us, become part of the family, and there's so much we offer for everyone that joins. So please feel free to join us. That's it from my end.
You forgot to say it's free.
It's free. Yes, my bad.
It is free. It will always be free.
And we are on our way to the first 1,000 members and champions. So join us.
Not there yet, but we're getting there. But the reason it's free, of course, is because we have champions. So if you want to be a champion, if you can do that, be a champion too. Champions give us the equivalent of like $50 per year. Okay? So I don't know what hobby you have. I hope you understand $50 is quite cheap, right? Here in Geneva, you can't take anybody to dinner with $50. You can't. Forget dinner. You can't even take them to the cinema. $50. So we try to make it as affordable as possible because it's not the cash, it's the commitment that makes a difference. But don't let that stand in the way. Being a member is free. We want good people. Please join us. Thank you for the updates, Githaiga. Back to you. Anu, who's next?
I would like to call on the COVID-19 Action Hub team. They've been doing amazing work. So, Juliana, over to you.
Thank you, Anu. Well, hi, I'm Juliana, based in Paris. I'm working for the COVID Action Hub. So we're gonna present very quickly what we have been doing. Glad to share with you that COVID-19 Action Hub is an initiative of UPG. We are focused on support actions related to COVID-19, encouraging individuals and organizations to take any action to help fight the pandemic. So what we do now, we have like 4 main activities. We like picture impactful actions. We also support actions, like we host a webinar series called UPG Shaping Ideas, brainstorm sessions. We also share knowledge, so we focus on being a reliable source of information and scientific and technical knowledge regarding the COVID pandemic. Yeah. And we also connect different stakeholders at all levels. For our metrics, I would like to introduce very quickly. We are chasing to have a weekly article posted on our website, like translating in scientific information to make to a more accessible language. We also have a weekly flash news, like portraying the most relevant information of the week about COVID-19. And the monthly webinar, the UPG Shaping Idea, we want to do 1 per month, 1 brainstorm session per month also. And as we are a platform for action, our main metric is the number of actions we feature on our website. We are aiming 5 per week, 20 per month. So we invite everybody to share your action, or if you know any action, any people that are doing meaningful actions regarding COVID-19, please, we invite you to visit our website and to share any ideas, any actions that you have about the team. So
Awesome.
I would like also share our website.
Okay, hey, you're mute, Juliana.
I'm
And
sorry.
can you tell us how many articles you guys have written so far? I read a couple and I was already very impressed.
We have 4 so far.
Awesome.
And we also, like, in the next week, we are aiming 1 per week. So we are reducing a lot.
Awesome. And how many actions have you featured so far?
I think so far we have on our website like around 18.
18. Okay. I
Yeah.
thought it was closer to. Was it?
Or
I thought. It was,
Yes, we are 15 now, but it's, yeah.
15. Yeah.
We have 3 in the pipe, so we should get to 18 soon.
Yeah.
all right. So that was some advanced information there. All right. Thank you very much. Great stuff. Thank you. Anu, back at you.
Thank you. So I would move on to EPI, the EPI team. Vidya.
Yes, thank you, Anu. Hi, everyone. We are working on EPI. EPI is Empower People Index that will help to measure the people's power to determine their own future. This can be broken down in 3 buckets. Like first is empowerment to scan. Here it is impossible to determine your future without access to any information. Second is empowerment to process. To process the information provided, you need an education and the basic needs like food and shelter. Without your basic needs, it is difficult to fulfill someone to process. And empowerment to act. Third one is the empowerment to act. This concerns your ability to act on the information you have processed. Here I would like to give an example, like Amy has an ability to start an NGO, and with the freedom of association, I can freely associate with the UPG to get EPI done. So the EPI is ready. We are fine-tuning methodology and writing the reports. We are going live on 29 July 2020. If you want to know more about EPI, then please log into UPG Forum. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Vidya. I see Yemi giving that sign again.
Oh no, I was waving at Vidya.
Right.
But I'm very excited and very nervous. And Vidya is also very excited. She's a key, I don't know, piston in the engine that's producing the EPI. So thank you very much for your work, Vidya. It literally will not be here without
Thanks,
Vidya's work.
Amy.
Thank you. Now, I don't know if you caught how revolutionary what is coming is. This is basically a score, a ranking of countries around the world by how empowered people are to determine their own future. Where do you think your favorite country ranks? How do you think Brazil does? Do you think the USA is in the top 10? Where do you think Nigeria sits? All right, it uses all available metrics. So we're not going to have lots of debates about people saying, can you trust that metric? Because we're using metrics that already exist and have been around a long time. Fine, people can argue with us about how we add up the metrics, but still a moot point. You're still going to be behind who you were behind before. We think it's not the ranking that's powerful. We think it's the conversation that follows that can be powerful. If countries start saying, you know what? How can we empower people better in our communities? We think that's a game changer. So obviously that's going to touch on everybody, adults, children, people who are marginalized because of race or sexual orientation or God knows anything. So it's quite scary, quite exciting. And I've just been looking at all the mock-ups that the team is preparing, and yeah, just very, very exciting. I don't know if we have any special offers or previews we can offer people. Vidya, do we? If we come up with anything special and any sneak preview we can give you, we'll let you know. I know we'll do something for champions because everything we launch, like Goodwill Vows, we always show it to champions first. But I wonder if there's something else we can do for everyone. And we'll let you know if we come up with something, okay?
Thank you, Yemi. Yes, we're almost at the end of the conversation. So now I'm really excited about this next announcement. I think it's going to change the world. So Rodrigo, over to you.
Oh, I was wanting to know what are you so excited. Thank you. I thought I was missing something. So thank you guys for your time. We are 20 minutes late, but it will be good for you. It's about Goodwill Vows. It's our new initiative, our global initiative to include everyone, every person, every organization into philanthropy. So the idea is that you can have a website, a platform where you can make vows, you can pledge future donations to any organization or project you support, you champion for. So the idea is to make a vow, it's free. You don't pay anything to UPG to make a vow or to receive a vow as an organization. And you can make it public or you can keep it private. But the idea is that we can show the world that everybody can make a vow. It doesn't matter if it's a $5 vow that you give donations every month, or if it's a 100 vow if you get the job you want, or 1 million vow if your organization gets well into an IPO process. So please access, I just posted the link there, goodwill.unitedpeople.global. And the password, because it's on beta version, so it's alive, it's getting bigger every day. The password is share the love. You can make your own vow. You can nominate any beneficiary you want. You have a list of almost 150 beneficiaries all over the world, but you can include a new one. It can be a local organization, a local school, or international organization that's not in the list, you can put in there. And please check on the vows page. It's really, really beautiful. And also on the NGOs we love. Those are some of the biggest NGOs in the world and some of NGOs that do an amazing job that are listed there that can inspire yourself. And I have a giveaway for you that everyone, yes, I just decided that because people stayed for 20 minutes.
I love this team. People make executive decisions. All right, I'm looking forward to learning.
So for all the vows made today, if the NGO is not on the NGOs we love, we include that, but only for today. So make your vow, indicate the organization you want, and it will be included at NGOs we love.
All right, only for today. Wow, executive decision there. Thank you, Rodrigo. All right, I love it too. Thank you so much. I do think it's something you should check out, and definitely something you can help with is make a vow. Even if you don't make a vow, give us feedback. All right, this is in beta version, so see something that you like. Hey guys, if you change this, it will be better, or if you add this feature or remove that feature. All right. Once we feel it's in good shape, we'll remove the password and we'll go completely public. But by virtue of the fact that you're here, you have access. You got the password, please go check it out. And Rodrigo has given you a good reason to go check it out. Wow. I think I might make another vow today. Seriously. Thank you, Rodrigo.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. We are at the end of this conversation. Thank you for staying to this time. We're usually on time. We start early, we finish early, but I guess, you know, we enjoyed the conversation and we had to go all the way. So thank you for joining us. The next session is by 5 p.m. and we have a very, very, you know, important topic. We'll be discussing inclusion at work. you know, talking about belonging, talking about diversity, leadership. How do we all integrate into getting everyone from different parts of the world, you know, to work at the same organization? And the beautiful thing is we have an expert. His name is Manuel Wakta. He's the founder of Equal Plus. So he'll be joining us to, you know, share his views on inclusion at work. And the special feature of music by DJ Kwame, you don't want to miss it. I tell you, if you were here last month during the second session, you would know what I'm talking about. So please join us at 5 p.m. Would love to have you here. Thank you so much for staying till the very end. Thank you, Jen, for waking up early to join us at almost 6 a.m. Thank you, Ines. Thank you, everybody. I really can't mention everybody's name. Thank you, Omolola, for sharing your idea on, you know, inclusion and children. We really, really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you to UPG team for making this a success as well. So I'll see you at 5 p.m.
Okay, but if they can't join at 5 and they just want to RSVP for next month, what's the date?
Oh yes, I was going
month?
to say that. Yes, that was my next announcement. So, so the next United Voices conversation is on August 21st. 2020, that's next month. We usually have this conversation every third Friday of the month, so you can put that at the back of your mind. So every third Friday, we have the United Voices conversation. So the next one is going to be 21st of August. So you can RSVP for that so you don't forget, but we'll keep sending you reminders. And please feel free to invite your friends, your network to the conversation at 5 p.m. We want to have a full room and a full house, and I know that you can do it. So thank you so much. We are 26 minutes, you know, past top of the hour. So I would say thank you and have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you at 5 p.m. Bye-bye,
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye.
Drive safely, Samuel.